While Helen Mirren's Maeve Harrigan spent most of Season 1 playing the role of a sly puppet master, her true intentions may be starting to emerge. The conflict between the Harrigans and the Stevensons is officially beginning with Vaughn Stevenson's death at the end of Episode 5, which should result in nothing but retributive slaughter for the Harrigans and their allies. It appears the Harrigans aren't getting much out of their feud with Richie Stevenson, even though they may argue that controlling London's fentanyl trade is prize enough. But ever since Conrad shot Archie Hammond in the pilot episode of MobLand, Maeve has guided him in the same way. Despite Harry and Kevin's best efforts to mediate a peaceful resolution between the two families, she has pushed her associates toward conflict. It appears almost certain that Maeve herself made the final decision that brought the simmering confrontation to a head. Even if Conrad claimed credit for killing Vaughn Stevenson, it could be the end of the Harrigans and Conrad, and it definitely indicates Maeve's endgame. In what had to be her most stunning move yet, Maeve actually called Richie Stevenson on his personal cell phone midway through Episode 6 of MobLand. With both Brendan and Serafina in Antwerp, Belgium, and far from the relative safety of the Cotswolds, they were already at risk of Richie Stevenson finding them. That became moot. Maeve told Richie exactly where he could find them, even going so far as to tell him which hotel they were staying at. From there, all it took was a phone call to the cartel to get Brendan and Serafina under his thumb. Maeve foolishly told Richie that he could do whatever he wanted with Serafina, but that he should leave her oldest son, Brendan, alive as part of the deal. Her intention was clear. Richie killing Conrad's beloved daughter Serafina would push the Harrigan patriarch over the edge, further destabilizing him. However, Maeve made that request to Richie shortly after openly mocking the death of his wife in grotesque fashion. So Brendan's not in any better shape than Serafina. It appears that Conrad is making a concerted effort to weaken his grip on his empire, his family, and even himself. The most recent move in this direction is Maeve informing Richie where Serafina is. She had Conrad's encouragement to pursue Richie's share of the fentanyl trade, and she was also behind his murder of his longtime buddy, Archie Hammond. She has publicly shamed him for being anything less than Conrad the Dread, the terrifying gangster he once was, and has even gone so far as to label him a coward on multiple occasions. Because of all the things she has pushed Conrad to do, the family is getting ready to go to war with the Stevensons, and Conrad will be the most vulnerable victim. It is not necessary to have Conrad at the head of the table for Harry to use his vast resources, expertise, and intelligence to aid the Harrigans in their survival. It appears that Maeve's goal is to get Conrad out of the picture altogether. This might be her way of getting even with him for his repeated infidelity. The fact that Maeve abandoned Serafina, a child of her adultery, may shed light on her real motives. Conrad was formerly a notoriously cunning and terrifying mobster, helping to establish the prosperous Harrigan crime empire. It appears that Maeve's schemes are starting to pay off, for he now seems to be little more than an unstable old man. There is almost no proof that Archie was an informant for anyone, thus it was a poor decision to kill him. He was a crucial cog in the financial side of the criminal organization. Conrad's conduct has also become increasingly unpredictable. In a series of episodes, he has made indecent comments to Gina Desua, who is only 15 years old, and has pursued and threatened Jan Desua, despite the lack of proof of any wrongdoing beyond what Maeve has implanted in his head. Such behavior is indicative of a man whose control over himself is slipping away. The absolutely insane phone call to Richie Stevenson proved beyond a reasonable doubt that the caller was a psychotic, not a crafty crime boss. In MobLand, Maeve appears to be creating an opening for herself to depose Conrad as leader of the Harrigan household.